Starving. What are we gonna eat?
Dude, I don't know. Pizza?
Nah, I'm sick of pizza.
Mexican?
You know what that does?
Yeah. Yeah. Problems.
Yeah, because I always overeat.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Chinese?
Have them deliver it?
Yeah, just have them deliver. I'm not going anywhere right now.
Yeah, I think I want to continue watching the game.
Yeah,
I wanna...
let's do that. Chinese it is. I'll give him a call.
Cool, man.
Food. Thank you. Appreciate it. See ya. All right, folks. So we have our Chinese takeout here. You want to give it a shot?
Yeah, man.
Delicious. You know, it's the flavors to be expected.
Right.
Exactly what you want. The noodles, so first thing that I notice is very flavorful, like a flavor explosion in your mouth. You know, I think that's what we love about these types of places. They have very bold food.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not timid food. It's very like salt, a little bit of spice.
Big flavor.
Yeah, big flavors. So that's what we love about it. It's very satisfying. Vegetables and questionable vegetables, I'm not sure what they are. But it's awesome. Daryl, you think you can recreate this at home?
You know what? I think I could recreate it.
Yeah.
And maybe even raise the bar a little bit.
Bump it up a couple notches?
You got it, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do it.
All right. So we've got all of our wonderful ingredients in front of us here. In the middle, I've got about 8 ounces of some fresh Lo Mein noodles that I was able to get at my local Asian market. If you're not fortunate enough to have that resource, feel free to use any sort of dried pasta you like. Got some nice snow peas, some really nice beach mushrooms, teaspoons of freshly grated ginger, 8 ounces of the beautiful Argentinian shrimp, 3 stalks of some green onions that will go in at the end, 4 heads of baby bok choy, large onion chopped coarsely. Again, the whole thing of trying to keep all the ingredients the same size, and about 2 teaspoons of fresh garlic and about 3 or 4 ounces of water chestnut. What I'm doing here is I've taken 2 cups of water and boiled it, and I've added a full nice tablespoon of any sort of brand that you like as far as I use a chicken base for this. If you could find a shrimp base, you could certainly use that. But I add a 1/4 cup of wonderful oyster sauce, very traditional flavor. Looks good. And then I just hit it with just a little bit of soy sauce. I know it seems like a lot, but you've got a lot of noodles and a lot of vegetables you need to flavor here. And then you can just take that off the heat and let it set. Put about 8 ounces of the fresh Lo Mein noodles into our pretty much nearly boiling water. One thing to keep in mind is that when they're fresh noodles, it's not going to take all that long to cook. And with Lo Mein, what I do is I cook it to, or heat these to about 75% of doneness. Because once you're going to drain them, they're going to cool off a little bit, and then once you put them back into the hot wok, you're going to finish the cooking process. I get the heat cranked up pretty good here. I've got it on extra high. I'm going to back that off just a little bit now to a high to get the oil in. 3/4 of a cup of, I'm using canola oil, so I'm going to use about half of that for right now into the pan, and let that oil heat there for about 10 to 15 seconds to let it get warmed up a little bit. Shrimp's going in now. I'm going to let that go for about 20 seconds total, getting it started. And we're going to cook the shrimp to about 75% complete on this first time around. And then we're going to take it out, set it aside, cook all of our other ingredients, and add the shrimp back in a little bit later. So once that shrimp starts to kind of set up in there, I'm adding the fresh ginger. Great flavor there. In goes our garlic. Okay, that's pretty close to about 75% complete. I'm gonna take that off the heat. You still got some of the residue in there for the added flavor, and we put the other stuff in here. I've got the remaining, again, I started off with about 3/4 of a cup of canola oil, put the remaining part in there. And I'm gonna go next with the onions. I'm gonna take my heat back up again around high and just keep stirring those onions. Now what I'm gonna do is kind of move the onions off to the side as much as I can. If you want, you could take the onions out and put them back in again later. But what I'm doing on the bottom of the pan is create as much space as I can for my noodles. So in goes the lo mein. I like to have a second spoon or a second utensil to use to kind of spread it out a little bit. And just start gradually working the onions and the remnants of that oil into the noodles. Next, I'm putting all the delicious baby bok choy in there. Looks like a lot, but as with any sort of cabbage, when you add that heat into the heat, it's gonna start to cook down, much like any greens. If you start with a lot, you always end up with a lot less. Next, going into the pool are the white beach mushrooms. Snow peas going in. Our water chestnuts. Let's give it a nice toss and stir from the bottom. All the time, those noodles just absorbing all that great flavor. And now we're gonna put our sauce in. Again, it looks like a lot of liquid going in. One thing to keep in mind is that because of the bouillon base that we used earlier and the soy, I'm not adding any additional salt to this dish. There should be, by the time you get all this distributed into the dish and mixed in, should be more than enough sodium, salt in this dish, and more than enough flavor. We're gonna add our shrimp, garlic, and ginger back in to kind of thicken up the sauce a little bit. Is a slurry of cornstarch and water. 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and about 3 tablespoons of water. You can kind of eyeball that. It doesn't have to be exact. As much to 50-50 you can, it should be. Always want to add some sesame seed oil. I just used it's the Eden Selected brand. Here's what I'm using. And just give 5-6 like little tosses of that in there. That's going to add a really nice, authentic flavor. And then I like to finish mine with some green onions, some sliced green onions.
All right, Daryl, it looks pretty good.
Well, we'll know here in a second.
Yeah, I want to see how it compares to
what we had earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Let's try it out.
All right, here we go.
Looks awesome. Nice. I love it. Good job, man.
What do you think?
I think I'm going to finish eating this. Yeah. Really good, guys. The flavor is exactly the same. He did a great job. He did a great job explaining it as well. I like that it tastes a little fresher. Mm-hmm. You know, you could tell that you gave it a little more love.
Absolutely.
Than on a production line. Mm-hmm. You know, even though China Wok did a great job.
Absolutely.
This is, I mean, you could taste the freshness in here. Sounds good. Thanks for joining us, guys. See you next time.
See ya.